honest, I made a lot of mistakes trying to learn how to code, but every single one of them taught me something that a course could not. I didn't have a roadmap, I did not have a mentor, I just had my laptop, free code camp, and a bunch of nights where I felt like I was not smart enough to even figure this thing out. But that was the thing that made me grow and not quit. In this video, I want to share every mistake I made and how I ended up learning from them, with the exact steps and courses that I took to learn how to code. Turned all this confusion into progress, and most importantly, how you can avoid wasting the time that I did. When I started learning coding, I jumped straight into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript through Free Code Camp. Honestly, that was the best, yet worst decision I made. The best because Free Code Camp felt like structure, but the worst because I treated it like a school assignment. So once I was like done, I just moved on to the next thing instead of really trying to understand what I just learned. So my first big mistake was building without understanding. It wasn't until I started to rebuild every project in Visual Studio Code that I began to actually understand HTML and CSS. Things just started to click, because once I stopped copying and started creating, I learned why things worked and not just how. Every project Free Code Camp had me build, I rebuilt it myself multiple times, sometimes 3 or 4 times. I'd fail, open my old version, figure out what broke, then close it and try again from scratch. And that was when I started realizing learning code isn't about how fast you move, it's about how deep you understand what you just did. So if you're watching this thinking, maybe I'm moving too slow, then you're probably doing it right. Because real growth doesn't come when finishing projects, it actually comes from redoing them. And that is how I got comfortable enough to create without tutorials. When I ended up getting into JavaScript, everything changed. You know, with HTML and CSS is a little bit more visual, but with JavaScript, it's kind of like behind the scenes. It's logic, somewhat invisible. And honestly, I struggled heavy. And that was when I actually found the Odin project, which I 100% recommend. I'll be real, if Free Code Camp taught me how to build websites, the Odin project taught me how to actually think like a developer. Because with JavaScript, you can't just read. You have to build while you learn. The Odin project, it forces you to touch the code, to break it, then to fix it. So my next lesson, don't spend all your time learning, spend most of it building. Sometimes we trick ourselves into thinking that we need just one more tutorial. What you really need is just one more project. Now here's the part that changed everything for me. Discipline. Because truthfully, I didn't stay consistent because I'm naturally motivated. I stayed consistent because I made a promise publicly. When I started to document this journey, it wasn't just about sharing progress, it was honestly about my accountability. When I said I was gonna be coding every day until I got certified, I had to stand on that. Because truthfully, I didn't stay consistent because I was naturally motivated. I stayed consistent because I made a promise, and it was public. There were days that I honestly wanted to quit. Days where I stared at the code and just thought this wasn't working. But then I would think, there might be somebody watching this who could literally relate to this moment. Let me just publish this. Let me just keep pushing. This might just keep them from giving up too. And that is what kept me consistent. If you are struggling with discipline, make sure you end up documenting your journey, even if it's just a tweet, a journal entry, or a YouTube video, because when you speak your goals out loud, you literally give yourself something to stand on. And eventually I earned my responsive web design certification. And later, I got my JavaScript algorithms and data structures certification as well, both of them from Free Code Camp. And yes, it feels amazing to see that I am now a certified web developer, but here's the truth. Certifications do not define your skill. They do not get you a job. Projects do. The certification is for you. It is proof that you stood on what you said you would stand on, that you can start something and then finish it. So if you want one, get it. Even some industries can see it and recognize it and love the fact that you have it. But if you don't want to, that is totally fine. But make sure your work speaks louder than any piece of paper. Now, let's talk about the biggest mistakes to avoid. Number 1, listening to everyone. When you start learning, everyone is going to have an opinion. They're going to be trying to tell you about their little roadmap. Oh, learn React first. Make sure you learn JavaScript while you're learning HTML and CSS. That was one that I got, and it threw me for a loop. Do 100 projects before applying. Make sure you do this, make sure you do that. But here's the truth. Even my roadmap might not work for you. It isn't even the best one. Whatever works for you, works for you. Try different methods, experiment, fail, succeed, switch it up. That's how you guys can learn or figure out what your learning style is. My next big mistake was number 2, building at the wrong time. There's a balance. Sometimes there's moments where you need to learn, but sometimes there's moments where you need to build. Find that balance. Find when it is time for you to study, when it's time for you to build what you have learned. Learn to listen to yourself. If you have been stuck on the same problem for 3 days, maybe it's time to learn. If you can constantly just are jumping through these questions, maybe it's time to build. That's the rhythm you end up finding with experience. Looking back now, every mistake that I had made taught me something I could not learn from a tutorial. I learned patience from failing builds. I learned confidence from finishing what I had started. And I learned discipline by knowing somebody will watch me grow. If you are learning right now, do not rush your story. Do not compare your chapter 2 to somebody's chapter 20. Just show up, build, break, rebuild, fix it, tune it, I don't know, do whatever you gotta do to it. Because at the end of the day, it's not about being perfect. It is about proving to yourself that you could become the person you said you would. And that is what this journey has taught me. And speaking of journeys, next video, I will be finishing my barbershop website. Finally gonna be bringing that whole entire series into an end. After that, I will be showing y'all who my first paying client is and exactly what website I will be told to create. From there, we will be pivoting into IT support content. So if you've been following this since day 1, you already know that this is just the beginning. Keep building, keep learning, stay disciplined. This is Marzi, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Deuces.